Let's get back up to Tammy Rose above that fire burning near Pecan Grove. Jacob, you recognize this place, don't you?
Yeah, you know, this is a place, it's a great place where you go pick up plants, but also mulch, and you can drop off too if you have just in your backyard a bunch of dead trees and branches. For cheap, you go and you can just drop off. So the landscaping business that's right behind Frank's Nursery, and you go into Frank's Nursery if you want to pay to do that. Tammy Rose, back up live over this. Forgive me for not recognizing. Is it getting a lot bigger, Tammy?
Yeah, actually we see quite a few flames and smoke, and like you mentioned, it's behind Frank's Nursery. We just saw a couple of fire trucks pulling up along with an ambulance, so it's not close to the other plants there. It's just a mulch fire at this point, but again, crews and an ambulance standing by. Right now, all we've seen is those heavy equipment that is just basically picking up dirt and trying to snuff out the flames, because you know, with these types of fires, it can definitely take some time. We're about 3 miles west of Sugar Land Airport, so that's good news for us. We're going to be able to land pretty shortly here for fuel, but again, we're working with our desk to find out more information. You know, we don't believe anybody's hurt at this time or anything like that, but if you are driving along Highway 90 and FM 359, you're definitely going to notice this smoke. We actually saw it about 20 miles away, so if you can avoid the area, definitely do that.
Interesting that the fire trucks are not back there yet. You can drive back there, but they're choosing not to at this point. And interesting that the heavy equipment is out there, as you point out, still back and forth moving the dirt around. And I haven't seen it, but I guess you're right. That probably would be
more fire
what they're trying to do, is to get dirt over there. But no water at all.
Actually, there is one fire truck that we saw come back here right there.
Oh,
that's
okay.
What I was trying to circle with.
Thank you for pointing that out. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. We're on this side because obviously with these types of fires, my pilot likes to stay away from the smoke. So the smoke is out of the south at about 20 miles per hour blowing towards the northeast. So we're behind the smoke, and that's why we can't get to those fire trucks. But I did see one pull in. Yeah,
and you know, we've been saying before, you know, in covering there, you can see the fire truck very clearly now, right between those smoke clouds. But I've covered, you know, mulch fires that burn for days. Jake, you probably have too.
And look at, I didn't even notice him.
I see a guy there
back there with the hose.
Yeah.
Is that the firefighter there in the bottom right of your screen?
Yeah, go down a little bit, Tammy. Pan down a little bit.
If you pan down a little bit.
A little bit more. Just a little bit more.
A little bit more.
A little bit more. A little bit more. There.
There he is. Okay.
Doesn't look like a firefighter, but maybe somebody from the company.
Maybe, you know, maybe they have, because they would, you know, if anybody would know, they would know how difficult these are to fight.
Right.
Perhaps they have their own hookup. I don't know.
Well, you know, they routinely spray these large mulch mounds with water to keep stuff like this from happening. So it's not surprising that there's water there. But that looks like this maybe a different type of hose that's been brought over it. I don't know if it's coming from the fire truck or not, but those firefighters are man, that's a difficult job right there, Jacob. They're in the middle of that smoke.
And they know when they set it all up that the possibility of fire is there. And so there is some separation between the mulch mound, for example, and the building where they house their equipment and they house, you know, the actual nursery up in front. There is some space, so hopefully that's all going to be okay.
Right.
But as you point out, these are difficult to get out.
Does it appear, Tammy, you know, Jacob asked earlier that maybe this is growing in size, or do you think does it look like they may have it under control? But, you know, then again, just as I asked that, you see the flames pop up again.
Yeah, I mean, on the side that we're on, obviously we can see most of the flames there, and I didn't even see that person with the hose, so good eye on that. We've got tiny monitors up here, but it doesn't look like it's a firefighter. I saw them, yeah, so there's the firefighter with the fire truck. Yeah. It looks like they're putting more water there. So
yes,
yeah, you're right. Probably somebody from the landscaping company might have started,
oh, he almost hit that
guy. Get back, yeah, and there's
most of it is just smoke.
Right.
I mean, if you're in this area near Sugar Land Airport, you know, you're definitely going to notice the smoke and the haze, and the visibility is a little bit reduced here. Not low enough for us not to fly, but it's definitely reduced in this area.
Right. If you wouldn't mind asking your pilot to, or maybe Tammy, you're with the camera, just zoom out so we can see just how far that smoke cloud goes. You were kind of doing it just a second ago. It seems to go quite some ways. You guys mentioned you saw it for some 20 miles. Wow, that's going for some ways.
Coming in from, yeah, we were coming in from the east. So again, I mean, we saw it a good 20 miles away. You see it kind of just trailing off there in the distance. I mean, and then obviously when we arrived on scene, we saw the thick flames. We weren't sure if this was just all smoke or flames with it, but you know, most of the flames and smoke on this side of the fire, which is the west side, and then behind it, you know, with that poor firefighter dealing with all of that smoke.
Right, and you see that heavy equipment there moving the I don't know if they're putting dirt on some of the fire or whatever. As you zoom in there,
Tammy.
Yeah, that's what they were doing when we first arrived on scene, and then firefighters showed up about 20 minutes later.
I wonder, Tammy, just when you move the camera up or zoom out just a little bit, is that a neighborhood right there? Right in front of the nursery, just right north of it.
Yeah, it's getting.
I don't know which way we're facing, but
yeah. So when we first arrived on scene, I thought it was an RV park, but it looks like know an RV storage unit. So
just north of there, though, just across from where, kind of maybe zoom out a little bit and go tilt up a bit, and we'll follow the smoke trail. And it looks like Jacob is right. There's houses just on the other side of that tree line there.
Yeah, you're right. So I've got my measuring tool. Oh, actually, Churchill is not working right now. But yeah, so all those neighborhoods are going to be east of the smoke. So definitely that neighborhood is probably, unfortunately, breathing in some of the smoke. I was going to try to take our measuring tool. It doesn't look like it's that far away.
No, not too far. Not really the fire, not a concern for the neighborhood, but that smoke, Jacob.
No, that smoke is. If you've been around these fires. Nobody wants to breathe in that smoke, and that'll stay. You know, that kind of smell, it gets on things.
It sure does.
And it stays for a while.
Yeah, and then you have to worry about the soot and everything. So yeah, these poor neighbors don't know if they're sheltering in place or even perhaps hopefully away from their homes right now, because that's definitely what we see after these fires. You know, the soot and all that smoke. Actually, there is someone there. Wow.
Roof guys, roof workers.
Geez. And this is happening right as people will be getting out of their homes to go to school. I mean, it happened so fast that they probably didn't have much warning. They're probably getting out on the bus stop or driving over to the schools right as this is all happening. Geez, they're still working there on the roof. It looks like, I hope they have masks on.
It's going to be a tough day for them.
I would not want to, you know, and actually one side note, the pilot and I sometimes have to leave fires like this if it smells too bad, obviously for safety purposes. So I just can't imagine being that close to it, you know, having to breathe all of that in. Yeah, we definitely depart if we start to smell anything, you know, funny or toxic. We immediately depart. So yeah, I'm just surprised they're up there still working.
Right. What's your fuel status? How long can you stay with us?
We're actually doing quite good. Pilot Tom, if you can give me a fuel check. I think we can probably fly almost until 8 a.m. And that's because Sugar Land Airport is about 3 miles east of here. We're west of the airport. So that's the only good news. You know, as soon as when we can break and land almost immediately for fuel.
Yeah, it looks like that front end loader there, or that crane is trying to, I don't know, dig to get sort of water to underneath, you know, an access point for the firefighters to get in there as it's starting to load up that truck.
This is very impressive to me, and this is, you know, what firefighters and others who help them do a lot, but think about the different ways that they're trying to handle this. You have the people who work there at this landscaping business with all of their heavy equipment doing everything they can from the back end and the front end, loading dirt on it and then taking dirt away, and then you have what looks like one of their own guys with a hose, and then on the other side, a fire truck putting its own water on there. I mean, this is, of course, this is the most important thing happening right now for them, and they are working furiously to make sure to get rid of the smoke for the neighbors and to make sure it doesn't spread too much and to salvage what they can.
And with that zoomed in shot, you can really get the scale of just how big these mulch piles are. You know, I mean, that's a full-grown person right there, and that's not just one pile of mulch. This facility has quite a bit of that debris. And Jacob, you mentioned this was a place that people could go and Christmas trees and any kind of yard debris could go there, right?
Anything that you've got. I mean, well, it's not a dump.
No, of course.
Just for the trees and debris and leaves, and we've done it before. We've gone and we've dropped off stuff there, and it looks like that's right where you would do it, or maybe it's right behind that. Alita mentioned that she's been there to Frank's nursery to get some plants. It's a great spot, you know. There, right there in the green, Tammy. That's Frank's nursery. Oh, look at this from the other angle. a really popular
Yeah.
spot where you go to get anything that you need for landscaping business, and where the landscapers themselves, the professional guys, will go to get their landscaping stuff. You recognize that place, Alina?
Oh, for sure. To the left-hand side, you can see some of the heavier duty equipment that belongs to Frank's Nursery. And there to the left is all the mulch like you were talking about. That's where my gardeners get our mulch. You know, every season we do that. And then obviously that is a large property where they house so many beautiful plants. But take a look at that smoke plume. And you can see a little bit of that plume moving. So the wind's there, not necessarily calm, but enough that it's helping to waft some of the clouds, some of those smoke clouds in some of those neighboring communities. So just be prepared if you notice that heading out and about. You know, it's wafted far enough in the atmosphere, but some of you may be smelling some of that smoke along FM 359 right around the Richmond area. And the winds are coming in from the south. So you look at Fort Bend County, the Pecan Grove area. So it's kind of drifting in the direction of Fulshear, Cinco Ranch. Those of you along I-10 most likely could be seeing some of that smoke fill the sky around West Park Tollway, the Grand Parkway there in Fort Bend County.